Alright, welcome to, this is going to end up being Chapter 3 of Hourglass. Hourglass is a campaign, a West Marches style campaign where the players come from all different worlds, all different backgrounds, and somehow they're pulled together by this cosmic force that nobody understands, at least yet. We're using Heroes and Hardships. This is the pre-core build, but post-quick start build, so we're kind of doing some development on the fly here. And tonight I have a solo session with Matt playing Hedwig Wright. And so we're going to get started. This is, you'll see, this is a steampunk-ish world, so that is what we're going to do. And like and subscribe, of course.
The Blazing Blasters.
Yes. To this channel. Do it. I forgot to... Well, am I correct in assuming that Isaiah has an Irish accent from the way you wrote it? Okay.
He does.
Hedwig, it's later in the day. It's probably 3. The mini clocks in the room show that it is 3. They're all tick-tock, 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 landing on the same exact minute, the same exact second. One of Isaiah's pet peeves is if there's a clock out of place, and so this is one of Reginald's duties, is to keep all the clocks wound in perfect synchronicity. You sit at your desk working at your lab on these new wings that you've pretty much invented or partially invented, and if you want to give some sort of introduction, you may do so.
So, Hedwig, she is a eccentric of sorts, as her father before her, Jonathan Wright, was also an eccentric man. Even from a very young age, she sat beside him while he was doing experiments. He's blown off quite a few of his limbs more than once, even after reconstructing them with different mechanical parts and machinery and such. She's even borne some of the scars from these experiments. Part of her pinky is missing on one hand, while under her shirt on the left side of her chest there's a large scar from some acid that had sprayed out when she was at about the age of 10. But even though Hedwig has gotten injured from both her father's experiments and her mother's, she still continues to be fascinated by the science and just the construction and the process of invention, drawing up schematics, doing the calculations and creating different formulae, as she has just always been fascinated with the work that her father has done. And Hedwig herself, though she was not able to apprentice underneath her father due to just laws in Old Whitby itself, she has apprenticed under Isaiah for 3 years so far. learning from him, though he has always gotten fairly angry because no matter how often she changes her clocks that she owns herself, she has approximately 8 on her at all times. No matter how much she changes them, makes them early, for some reason she is always perpetually late to everything she does. Which, much to Isaya's chagrin, she shows up very late always getting distracted in her head, and always creating new and inventive things to use or for other people's use. And Hedwig, she sits at her workshop working out some of the kind of angles and such, the velocity and the weight that the wingsuit needs to have, that she's been designing for a gentleman known as Girick currently. Now she sits there with a quill in her hand, and she's writing down. She accidentally spills some of the ink onto the pages, and she says, "Oh, bother!" And she starts dabbing it up with the spare cloth. Damn it, Reginald, do you mind? If there's another cloth or something, this one's a bit soaked.
Reginald is standing over by the bookcases, and he has a large duster in his hand as he's dusting the shelves. He turns, clunk, clunk. "Yes, Hedwig. What is it? What do you need, my friend?"
"Just a cloth of sorts, something of the like. Something just to sop up this ink here. Made a bit of a mistake." She runs a hand along her face, and some of the ink gets on her cheek, and dang it.
The clockwork turns and just kind of clambers over to a pile of rags and scoops 2 up in his left hand and turns around and clank, 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 walks over to you and extends an arm in a very kind of odd robotic fashion. "Here you go, Hedwig, my friend."
"Thank you, Reginald. I very much appreciate this." She extends a hand and takes the cloth, dabbing her face and also the table, mopping it up a bit.
"You are most welcome, madam." He tips his hat.
She nods to him and turns back to her work, getting a new inkwell and dipping the quill in as she continues to write.
You continue to write and make some calculations. You hear this scuttling next to your leg on the floor.
Hedwig takes a moment and looks down. "What have we here?"
You look down and it's Isaiah's, is it a ferret?
Yeah, I'd say it's a little ferret.
Yeah, a little ferret, and it has this little, like, almost kind of like a pilot's helm cap, and its ears are sticking through, and it's just chittering at your feet.
She looks down and says, "Toby, what are you doing here?" And she leans down and extends her hands to the ferret.
The ferret crawls up your arm quite quickly and ends up on your shoulder, looking down over your, over your shoulder down at your papers, almost as if it was reading it.
She picks up her quill again and continues to write, and as she does so, she speaks to Toby, the ferret. "Have you seen Isaiah? Do you know where he is? I haven't heard him shouting all day, it seems."
There's a kind of noise similar to that, and it crawls over to the other side of your shoulder and looks kind of around the room as if it understands.
She sits back in her chair and she spins herself around, looking around the room. "Isaiah, how are you? Are you here?"
You call out and you hear, "What is it, lassie? I'm partaking in a mid-afternoon snack." He walks out and he's got a cup of tea and a crumpet.
She crosses her arms a bit and crosses a leg over the other and says, "I'm not sure why you didn't invite me. I'd make me anything.
Would you like this? And he kind of half passes the saucer over to you, the half-eaten biscuit.
Oh, yes. And she extends her hands and takes the half-eaten biscuit and the half-drank tea. And
he seems very surprised. Oh, very well, lassie. I guess Reginald, go fix me some more tea. And Reginald, yes, Isaiah, my good friend. Clank, 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 and he just kind of walks out of the room. Now, Hedwig, my dear, I have a question for you. You were... He looks at pocket watch. I gauge 18 minutes late this morning, 24 minutes late yesterday, 15 minutes late the day before, 4 minutes late the day before that, and 8 minutes late the day before that. Math, well, that is quite a time to be late. So will you be staying till, let's say, around 6:30 today? To make up the time that you missed.
She puffs out her cheeks and thinks for a moment, and then shrugs. Well, I guess it's like any other week, really. I'll stay late again if need be.
Well, that is what I was having in mind. You don't have anything to do you?
Well, no, not really. I mean, I was just going to go home and continue working on this if I didn't finish up any of the work here.
Well, I think I might have something else for you today. I think maybe the punishments that I've been giving you just aren't quite sticking.
Oh, you've been giving me punish. Okay. Well, sure. What else do you have in mind then?
Well, it is nice that you asked. Have you been up to the attic lately? The inventory system is quite a mess since my personal librarian left. And you know that he used to have a clockwork called the librarian that broke.
Oh, no, I really haven't been up there. Haven't really explored much, to be perfectly honest.
Well, wonderful, wonderful. I need everything catalogued, and I think you are the person to do it.
She smiles at Isaiah. Oh, bugger. Of course, yes, of course. I shall do so. Yes, I'll make sure it's tip-top, yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. You can come in tomorrow early. What time would suit you? About 8:15, your normal?
Oh, yes, 8:15 tomorrow morning. I'll be here. I'll make sure on time this time.
Oh, yes, I doubt it very seriously, but, and he's going to say something, and there's like, it almost sounds like a train whistle, and, you know, that's basically the phonograph, I guess it wouldn't be a phonograph, it's basically the old, steampunk telephone.
Yeah.
And so he goes, a call for Isaiah. More clients, I hope. And he walks over, and it's like one of those old-timey boxes on the wall, and he like takes off the receiver, and it's not like a hand receiver, it's like one of those like little cups that you stick to your ear, and then there's like a kind of like a microphone. He's like, you can hear him talk. Yes? Oh, really? That is wonderful. I could. Sure. You want her? Hedwig? Well, I can send her over right away, I suppose. Well, yes, it has been quite a few days since we spoke, but yes, I was wondering if you could tell me Oh, okay, well, I suppose we could talk about that later. Oh, very well. Yes, very well. He hangs up the receiver. Well, Hedwig, I guess you won't be doing that inventory for me after all, not tonight, at least.
She'd been eating the half-eaten biscuit, and she has crumbs on the side of her mouth that she wipes with her right hand. And puts it down. Oh, yes. What then?
Well, I have a request for you to do a little field research.
Oh, really? Really? For who? Or what? Or where? Why?
Well, there's a man by the name of Mr. Hollingworth, and Mr. Hollingworth is the bureaucrat that, well, he works, he's head of the project to fix the weather machine.
Oh, oh, really? She scratches the side of her cheek. I didn't know anyone else was working on that. All right.
Well, yes, there's plenty of people working on it currently. The weatherman is hard at work, I've heard. I've not been. He looks a bit kind of put off that he wasn't involved in any of this. Regardless, you can see that they're not doing so well. So if you could go over there and maybe give them a hand.
Oh, yes, of course. I'll give them two if they need it. She gets up and brushes some of the crumbs onto the floor. She picks up the teacup and chugs it back, coughing a bit, some of it running down her chin. Okay, right now? Should I just leave?
Well, yes, but listen. Do you know the crank shooter that I made for you some time ago?
Yes, yes, I do.
I think you should take that with you and make sure that they see. And make sure that you tell them that Isaiah made that. And they'll be impressed.
I'll do that, yes. And she looks to the corner near her desk, and there's the crank master that sits beside it, picking it up, slinging it over her shoulder. Of course, she picks up her workshop and some of the other bits and bobs that she has that are on her desk. Right, I think I'm ready to go.
Well, here's the ticket for the train, or enough money for it. On Isaiah, remember, I taught you everything you know if you did well, and if you didn't, well, you're right. They'll know all about that.
Yes, if anything bad happens, just blame it on my father. It's fine. He can take it.
Well, yes. And at that time, Reginald clambers in. He's got the tea set, and he's like spilling half of it. And Isaiah looks down, and there's like probably the last fourth of it's left. And I was not built with excellent motor functions. Isaiah just kind of face palms. Oh, yes, I know. I built you. Give it to me. All right, Hedwig, out of here, go.
Hi. And as she goes, she passes by Reginald and says, "Don't worry, I'm working on a gyroscope at home. We can make plans maybe to install it in the next few weeks, eh?"
I would like that very much, my friend.
Perfect. Right. Bye, Reginald. She pats him twice on the shoulder before heading over to the small elevator and putting herself inside.
Yeah, he's very delayed. He turns and bows and takes his hat off. Good night to you, my friend. And as the door shuts and you go down this elevator that oddly rotates as it goes down. It's almost like a spiral staircase elevator. It has no practical function, but there's a lot of things that do not. And it finally gets to the bottom and opens, and it opens to this scenery of the outside of Old Whitby. Let me move you over there.
And she gets outside. She adjusts the gun on her shoulder. She's a tall girl, short brown hair, a bit gangly. She's mostly leg and arm. She adjusts it. She straps the goggles that she has on top of her forehead in front of her face. It's a bit smuggy out, it looks like. And She starts to jog her way over as she thinks walking is impractical, so she just jogs everywhere. And she jogs over to the train station.
Jog everywhere but be late everywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, you head over to the train station and you hear like these electrical like shocks of the train. It's a steam-powered train for the most part, but it does use some form of electricity as well. And so you head over there and you see as it's about to leave as you are late for the train. I want you to make a athletics roll to get there in time.
Right. Oh my god.
Challenging. TN14.
Very challenging. Okay, athletics.
That's in strength.
Ah, perfect! Just barely.
Yeah, it's starting to move and the conductor is standing out. Last call for the weather station. Come see the weather station. It might be on the fritz today, but tomorrow it'll be clear in old Whitby, I guarantee it.
She's running by people. Excuse me, pardon me, sorry, coming through. And she's pushing by and huffing and puffing and grabs onto the edge of the train, swinging herself on. Ah!
Oh, ma'am, your ticket!
She has the ticket, correct?
Yeah, she does, but she did get it, so she just ran by him and jumped on.
Yeah, she kind of tosses it to him and says, "Sorry, thank you."
Yeah, it floats down and he kind of bobbles it, and young ones these days. And the train just kind of steams off towards the weather station and lets you reflect with your thoughts as you go.
Yeah, she's a bit out of breath, but she's used to jumping onto trains at last minute and throwing her ticket at conductors. She's done it quite a few times, more than she'd like to admit, probably. And she's missed the train quite a few times. She's actually very glad that she made it this time. As she normally misses it for being so late constantly. Hedwig finds a seat to sit down on, slumps into it, and unloads some of her stuff beside her, still holding on to it, but looking around with a large smile on her face. Even with many who are on the train who probably don't bear the same smile, she's just happy at this moment. She mostly lives in the moment. At this time, she was on time, at least in her mind.
Close enough. Give me 1 second. I want to pull a slide over to this game because I have an idea.
I'm guessing.
Transmogrifier is very slow, though.
I didn't have enough crumpets. I'm hungry.
Oh my goodness.
I missed breakfast this morning because I'm so late.
I'm guessing that's a common occurrence.
Yep. That's why she's so gangly.
Let's see. I'm trying to give my best approximation to a steampunk vaudeville kind of thing.
Train?
No, just world.
Let's see. I gave you some. Love this music so much.
Yes. Okay. One more sec.
No worries, I'm just enjoying the train ride. It's a tad bit noisy in here, but it's okay. I invented noise-canceling buds for your ears that you can just stick in, made out of foam.
That is impressive. Okay, they stick you in a cabin. Your train ticket, you You have a pretty good memory, so you remember what your seat was. And so you're able to head over there. Let me move you over. On the hand basket, okay. So you head into this train and you find your compartment. They're quaint. You've been on this train many times before, or trains that are almost exactly the same. There's a woman dressed very strangely, seated across from you. She has a hood on, black hair, really blue, kind of haunting eyes. She just sits there. You think she has her legs crossed, and she's just kind of seated back with her arms on the armrest of the chair. She's looking directly at you as you walk in.
And Hedwig does a bit of a double take and sees the woman, her eyes taking in the woman's garb, blue eyes, her stare. Hedwig plops herself in the chair, her feet kind of going up as she very dramatically sits down, a bit exhausted. As she sits back up, adjusting in her chair, sitting tall, she looks back at the woman. Is she still staring?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she hasn't left. Her gaze has not left you since you came in.
And she continues staring. It doesn't take... it takes maybe a few beats before Hedwig says, "Hello there!"
Ah, hello. It's been a long time.
Oh, well, I don't think it's been that long. I think we just left the station.
Oh, yes. Excuse me. I know someone that looks very similar to you, in a way.
Oh, really? Maybe I know them. Is it Gretchen? I know she has looked like me when we were doing some training together. Oh, sorry. She leans over, extending her hand towards the woman. I'm Hedwig. And you are?
I'm Eos, and very strange name. You've never heard anybody named Eos. And she reaches out, and you notice her hand is very dirty. But on each finger are these intricate rings. You catch one's like a snake, and one is like more like a sigil ring, and it's a lion. And there's all sorts of, and each finger has one, and she shakes your hand with that hand and smiles. And as she does, you see that she's missing at least two of her teeth on one side, and they're replaced with, it looks like some sort of jewel.
Hedwig takes it all in. Her hands aren't the cleanest either, of course. They're full of oil and other muck and such from doing her experiments. And as Hedwig looks the woman over, she says, well, what part of Whitby are you from? I don't really recognize it from this quarter. I haven't really been to many other quarters, to be fully honest. A bit uneducated when it comes to that. My apologies.
Yes, I'm from the East Quarter. There's nothing called the East Quarter, but maybe she means something else.
Oh, East Quarter. There's quite a few number of quarters that compose of the East. Of course. Do they all dress like that over there?
Oh, not everyone. Just those with taste and style. She's wearing almost very threadbare, kind of tattered cloak as you take it in.
Well, I'd hate to see someone without style. She smiles and laughs to herself.
She stares at you and kind of shakes her head, and she says, I don't know how you were ever this way.
Well, what do you mean? I've always been, this way. At least that's what my mother says.
I suppose. She takes her that hand and rubs her chin. I can't believe this is... I have something for you.
Oh, I'm not really one to expect strange gifts, but sure. I don't have anything for you. I apologize.
Oh, I don't need anything. Here. And she reaches into her pocket and produces this quite strange-looking pocket watch. The hands of it are made of it's some sort of different metal. You're unfamiliar what it is. It almost looks like a liquid, maybe mercury, but they all stay kind of together, right? It's a liquid, but it's formed, so it's very strange to you.
Hedwig extends her hand to take it. Says, "This looks fascinating. What is it?"
It's a pocket watch, I think is what it's called.
Not one that I've seen. And she takes it and she examines it, and Hedwig gets pretty fascinated with the thing and is going to try to analyze it and basically study it if she can. Just tip it over and maybe open it, close it, see if there's screws on the side.
As you're doing that, she, please don't break this.
I'm just looking into
I
it.
understand that you're curious, but maybe for this one, just keep it close so you're on time.
Oh, Hedwig starts kind of, she doesn't really have a jacket. It's more suspenders with kind of a striped shirt and shorts that she wears. She does have like a satchel that she carries with her workshop. And even on her hip, she starts pointing at the various small circles and squares that she has, and she pops two of them open, showing that they are both pocket watches. She says, well, I have 8.
No, this is different. Trust me. Just keep it close. Don't take it apart, please.
I can't promise that. I will be fully honest. Might happen.
Can you promise me for the day, at least, not to take it apart? Or I'll take it back.
Yes, for the day. I will not take it apart. I can definitely promise this. Yes.
Well, very well. I will leave you now.
All right. Well, you have a most pleasant day.
I will. And, you walk out she walks out and just kind of cuts the corner, doesn't even look back, and just disappears down the hallway, down the corridor.
And Hedwig, she's not going to take it apart, but she is going to stare at this pocket watch and kind of visually analyze it and look it over.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a desperate sciences roll. That's 29.
Ooh, my. Let's see if I can get this. Where the heck is it?
Actually, impossible. 38.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. You can spin fate if you want it. No, it's okay.
No, it's fine.
All right, yeah.
You should look it over.
Yeah, you look it over and you cannot, by just looking at it, you can't puzzle out how this thing works. You're able to tell that there's no like cylinder that's keeping the liquid in place, so it's actually naturally keeping itself in place somehow. The hands of the clock.
And Hedwig takes one of her other watches and she sets it on a 24-hour clock. It says, right, promise today I will take 24 hours and I won't take this apart. Don't touch this, Hedwig. And she closes it and puts it away in one of her breast pockets that she has.
Yeah, as you do that, another of the conductors kind of peeks his head in. I have your midday meal, ma'am. Your ticket came with one.
I didn't know you spent so much money. Fantastic. If you'd like to bring it in, thank you. Or do I leave? It go somewhere?
No. He waves and they kind of like push this cart forward and he grabs this kind of polished silver, probably not silver, probably, I don't know, what would it be? I don't know, something like silver, and he brings it over, and it's got like a triangular plate, and there's like a sandwich essentially cut in this odd triangle, and then it's cut, but it's cut in like a triangle. There it is. Not the finest feast on the car, but this isn't the finest cabin, is it?
Oh, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah. Well, I have some filtered water for you, and he brings in this basically a receptacle, not plastic, but probably brass, and he just kind of sits it down next to your plate. Well, ma'am, do you need anything from me? And he's got this huge shit-eating grin on his face the whole entire time, fake as anything.
And Hedwig very pleasantly smiles up to him and says, "No, thank you. Appreciate it."
Ma'am, do you need mental care as well? We do have someone on board that specializes in such things, if it is needed.
No, I don't need mental care. I'm very sure that I'm 100% stable, mostly. Why exactly?
I heard you speaking in here.
Yes, there was a lovely woman. I've unfortunately forgotten her name already. Yes, in here. Just speaking with her. Why?
Oh, I see. He like twirls one of his mustaches. Well, I don't think so, ma'am. But you have a good day then. Well, as they say, this is the finest train in Old Whitby, the old number 9.
Right. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes. Good day to you, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Good day.
He moves and pushes the cart away and leaves you there.
Hedwig is left with a bit of a quizzical look on her face, but she shrugs and does tuck into her triangle sandwich and her brass cup full of water.
Yeah, you can eat or not, but after a while, the train, you hear, and it starts kind of slowing down. And you hear somebody yells, "Debarking now! Debarking now! 5 minutes, debarking now! Gather your belongings for the old weather station."
Oh my! And she's only halfway done her sandwich, so she tries to cram the rest of it in her mouth and chug water at the same time. She coughs some of it up. And she's grabbing all of her things, and as she leaves the room, she turns back around. "Oh, did I forget this?" And she does it a couple times, thinking that she forgot things.
Yeah, as you're messing around, the train starts moving as they begin to disembark and turn around and go back home.
Oh, shoot! And she runs to the exit and jumps off the train.
You jump off the train, and the same conductor that was asking about your mental health, like, kind of leans over and peers over, and he's like, "Ha ha ha! Good day, ma'am."
Yes, very good day. Oh, I had to triple check a few things, but all good. Got off the train. It's good. Everything's fine. She dusts her knees off a little bit, stands up, and just starts walking towards the weather station.
All right. That's not it. The weather station is this massive complex that kind of sits over top of the city, or at least part of the city. And you see the coal stacks burning and pushing out the waste into the air as it's burnt. These huge coal stacks power much of the city. There are huge filters on top of them, but it can only do so much. You see above there the hints of a storm gathering. Acid rain has been falling. This for the last few months on occasion, because the weather station is having some issues. The weatherman is a single engineer that takes care of the weather station, and after quite a protracted argument by the politicians in town, they determined that they were going to force the weatherman to accept some help. And since then, the guy, I already forget his name, Isaiah's friend that called him, that is heading up the actual, we'll just call him, I think it's Mr. Holloway. And Mr. Holloway has been overseeing a project to fix the weather station. It's not clear what's wrong with it, or any details, certainly. The weather station is attached to these huge escalators that go down to the train station on this side and a train station on the other side, and other kind of peripheral buildings that it connects to, some coal power for the weather station. And that's the elevators. They're actually escalators, so they just they would take you straight up there if that's what you want to do. You see a couple men working out here on the coal stacks and such. They just kind of give you a look. They have these oversized hard hats on and goggles. And
as Hedwig is jogging over, she gives them all a bit of an over-exaggerated wave and hello as she goes by. And she goes to the escalators and starts jogging up those as well.
You jog up the escalator. It's pretty far. It takes a while to jog up them. You think it would take at least 15 minutes to just ride up them. As you get up here, it's getting kind of tough to breathe. You feel kind of a bit lightheaded for a moment. I would like you to make a let's make a resilience roll. Challenging. It's an endurance. Yeah. So it doesn't bother you too much, but your eyes water a bit. You're kind of maybe coughing some.
As she gets to the top of the escalator, huffing and puffing a bit. Oh, jeez. I should really maybe wait next time. All right. Where's the door? Where's the bloody door? And she looks around, trying to spot an entrance.
There is a door. It's circular, and it's you just walk up to it. It looks like you hit a button. Like many things are different, right? In Old Whitby, it's not like one door is the same as another door is the same as another door, because usually they're all unique. So whoever made this door made it however they wanted it. So everything is a different experience, right? So it looks like there's a big, huge red button next to this circular, what appears to be a door. And there's a huge knocker on the middle of it, so, of a rain cloud.
As she moves over to the knocker and bangs thrice, 3 times with the knocker against the door, and says, "Hello? Hedwig Wright here. Standing outside."
The door just kind of like, it peels back, as if they were different pieces of a pizza sliced, and they just kind of peel back into the wall next to him, opening up for you. And then there's one inside there very similar that's only like 2 feet away, and it pulls back. And then there's one back there 2 feet away, and it pulls back. And then there's one back there, and it pulls back. And it does this for like 10 times as you walk through and closer.
And I'd assume that just due to her family, at some point maybe when she was little, there's like she's maybe even just walked around this part. Mm-hmm. Maybe not inside itself. But yeah, she kind of stares in amazement at these doors. He's like, "Oh my, I'm going to need to install something like this in my home." She starts to carefully make her way inside, looking around. "Hello?"
There's this, you kind of look to the side, and there's this almost a picture screen, and it's like, "Welcome to the weather tower of Old Whitby," and it goes on to this like spiel about how it was made, and like it's like basically like a infomercial as you walk in. It's like it just gives all this information. "We are the greatest weather machine in Old Whitby's ever seen, created by blah blah blah," and it just goes on and on and on.
She'll stand there maybe for a few minutes watching. She's heard all this before. She's seen it. She's read the stories and even incorporated some of the aspects into her own methods. But after a few minutes, she looks around for any stairs or anything, trying to find signs of someone to talk to, find out what she's supposed to do.
Can you give me a perception roll?
Yes. I don't know if I'm trained in perception.
Yeah, I didn't get to yours.
Is it?
It's his senses.
Thank you. No.
Let's give it a whirl.
Ah, perfect. 8.
You do see something. It's a kind of a greenish glow coming from down the hallway and to the left, perhaps. You've been here before, but it's been a long time, so you don't remember exactly where everything is. But there's definitely nobody there to like meet you.
And as she starts approaching, she goes towards the green light and just calls out, "Hello, I'm Hedwig Wright. I'm sent by Sire Morley. Supposed to do some sort of field work for you. Hello."
You walk into this room, and you see this something that strikes you quite curiously. First of all, you see pretty standard law enforcement clockworks standing there. They are completely made of metal. They're clockwork. They look exactly the same. They all have these very long stemmed pipes with this fake, well, it's actually real steam that comes out of them from the steam powered clockwork. They all wear these big top hats with like the police badge on the center of them, and they have like goggle eyes, and they around their hips they have a holster and like one of these pistols that they use sometimes. They're fairly normal. They're the police force in Old Whitby. They just stand there.
She peers in. She says, "Sorry, officers. Do you know have you seen anyone in here supposed to help?"
One of the clockworks says, "Good day, citizen. Make no crimes. We are the law enforcement of Whitby, and those that cross the great citizens of Old Whitby will be incarcerated." And it just kind of goes back from its rote speech.
And she nods, and she just looks in, peering towards whatever this is.
It's like making this weird and you do see kind of, you could probably get around this thing to like, there's something on the back side of it. It's like looks like a big table or something. You're not sure what's on that.
She starts making her way inside, and, "Sorry, gentlemen, do you mind if I just pass by?"
One of them just like gives a fake tip of the hat clearly doesn't come off its head, so it just grabs the lip of it and kind of like bows, and as if it was tipping the cap to you.
And she's like, "Right," and she passes by and attempts to kind of skirt around to try and see what this table is behind this machine.
Yeah, as you get back there, you are you're very surprised to see someone lying on that table.
Oh my. She's taken aback for a moment before she slowly kind of makes her way over and says, "Hello? Are you sleeping? You right there?"
You're surprised to see that this person has all kinds of augments. It's it's very, very, very bad in Old Whitby to meld a person with a machine. And it's a very distinct line, and this person has gone and done that clearly. They have this big, it's not that they have a respirator on, but if you look at it, and the other side is actually implanted into their chest. And you have, there's all kinds of these cables reaching, moving back into the body. And then you see something that is pretty bad. You see that it looks like this person has a gunshot on their left side, and there's blood. It's congealed. That has run down off this table and onto the floor, and the floor's, grouts is covered by blood as it's kind of followed those groutings and spread away from the table. But it's all like pretty, just by looking at it, looks congealed.
Hedwig is taken aback at this, and she looks over the woman. At the wound. Does she look to be breathing? Is her chest rising? Or is she just still?
Give me a healing roll. Challenging.
Alright. Nope. I have no idea.
You don't think she's alive, but, I mean, yeah.
Hedwig's concerned, of course. These are quite illegal. And she turns back to the law enforcement and says, there's a woman here. I think she's dead. I need some EMT, so someone take her away. Officers?
They just kind of stand there for a minute, and then they look at each other, and they seem to be like, they look at each other, they look back at you, they look at each other, they look back at you, and they continue to do this as long as it takes. I mean, clearly they're glitching, right?
Ooh. If they're glitching, is there a possibility for me to maybe look at them?
Mm-hmm.
Try to figure out what's wrong with them?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, she's going to do that. She's going to pass by and look at the officers and try to assess to see what might be wrong.
Go ahead and give me a sciences roll. With whatever modifiers you have for sciences.
Nothing special.
I would say this is going to be, I was going to say 21 exactly. So,
perfect.
You do notice that you've seen this behavior in clockworks that, don't have any autonomy, when they get conflicting orders sometimes, and somebody's forgot to program it correctly.
Hedwig sighs and shoot. Shouldn't mess with this. I get in trouble. She looks back to the body. Is there any other exits to the room?
No, like the back of it goes, and it it's a pretty empty. You see, there's some piping that comes through and cables and that sort of thing. But it looks like that this area has some sort of function. But you see, actually, on the ground, like where things had been, anchored into the ground, but those have been removed. It all looks kind of strange, like a bunch of stuff's been pulled out of here, and this looks a lot newer than everything around it. Everything else is like dusty and, like what you would expect in a place like this. But I would like you to give me a, boy. I would like you to give me a perception roll with 3 benefits. And you can use fate or whatever.
Oh, a combat. Perception with 3 benefits.
Mm-hmm.
What do I have to hit
14.
for this? 14. I think I'll be okay. Maybe. Ha!
Got it. That's what 4 benefits? Or what did I say? 3 benefits?
3.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So you're not trained. Okay.
No.
Yeah. Something strikes you as odd. You're looking at this body, which might be dead, And on her left arm, there's a birthmark. And you have a birthmark on your left arm. Is that the same? It looks like it might be the same.
And she looks curiously to her. She's like, no. What in the devil is this? And she moves over to the girl. She checks her, I think it's her left hand, to see if her part of the pinky's missing.
It is gone.
And she takes out the claw tool that she has. It's usually used for climbing, but it has like a small blade probably at the side just for hooking into things. But she uses that to cut the material on the I think the left side of the woman's garb, just to kind of check her chest to see if she has a burn mark at all.
She has the exact same burn mark you do.
Hedwig nearly drops the claw, but holds it steady as she takes a few steps back, maybe falling to the ground for a moment and breathing heavily. And she's like, no, what's this? What does this mean? Oh, gosh. Oh, bugger. She goes over and she tries to rip off the thing on the body's face.
Yeah, you find that there's a way to detach it, and you turn these. It's kind of weird, right? The way it's detached, it's like all done like very elegantly and simply, whereas like something like this in Old Whitby would be all kind of convoluted, so it takes you a good while to figure out the simplest way is the easiest way, but finally you're able to detach it and you pull it back. And other than she has a huge scar, like basically it almost looks like a hair lip that comes across her mouth, it is you. Maybe you think maybe 10 years in the future, that's kind of like maybe what you look like. You see just a few wrinkles and that sort of thing.
And Hedwig, her face is red. She's breathing heavily, heart pounding, and she kind of puts her fingers on the woman's neck to see if she has a pulse at all. Oh, what is this? Who are you?
As you're doing that, there's a slight thud on the ground as someone walks in, and you have a feeling. You kind of look over your shoulder.
You've arrived. Good. I'm the weatherman of this weather station.
Hi, hello there. I'm Hedwig Wright.
You're here earlier than I thought. I figured you would be late.
I'm early. Oh my, it's concerning. What? Do you know there's a body here? A woman. She steps back.
Oh yes, I am quite aware.
Okay. If I may.
I'm not blind.
Oh right, I did not assume. Of course. What? Who? Why is she here? Why? What is this? Is this some kind of trick?
Trick? No, this is no trick.
Okay. Why do you know who this woman is?
Of course I do. It's Hedwig Wright. You, my dear.
Goodness. I'm not fully understanding why there's me there and me here.
Can you give me like a fortitude roll to kind of keep it together?
I'm not chained in this. Fortitude. Where's fortitude?
It's willpower.
Fortitude. Oh. Wait. What's that under? Is that under
Willpower.
Oh, social, right? Is it social?
No, int.
No. Thank you.
Or mental, sorry.
Oh, no hardships for what the? Sorry, it's being strange.
Okay. Let me look. Is it you doing it from your menu? Fortitude?
Yeah, it's saying no. It's saying no
I know what's right. Just do it from your
found.
sheet. I'll have to fix that.
Gotcha.
Dang it. Okay.
We found a flaw. It's fine.
That's the macros.
Found a flaw in the macro. It's
The
fine.
macro is not doing selected. It's wrong. Okay.
No.
Yeah, you start freaking out.
I don't understand what's going on. Look, I just here because it's how I said I was supposed to come. Please just explain it. I don't understand. Please. And she starts fanning herself with her hand and she takes a seat on the floor.
You are having some problems with this, it appears. I understand. Let me have my friend come in here and explain better than I can. I am only a weatherman after all.
And coming in. This person comes in with this full like regalia of why don't you give me a lore roll?
I don't know if I'm trained with lore. Let me see. I am not. That's okay. Whoa. What the fuck? I don't. Oh, wow.
Yeah, but you got 4. You're not trained, but you got a 4 in knowledge, right?
True.
Yeah. So
24.
so you recognize this as a. Don't want to mess up the pronunciation. A Catalonian soldier.
Hedwig backs up a bit, and sliding on the floor and backing up to the wall. Why is that here?
It is the one who told me to bring you here, so we can learn the secrets that
He points to the body.
that one had before she expired.
Look, I don't know anything. I was just supposed to do field work, is all. Just help with the weather machine. That's all I was assigned to do. That's all I know how to do. If you need anything, like maybe installing new parts in the machine, I can help with that. If you want answers as to what
The Catalonian levels its rifle at you.
It's time to be quiet now, girl. It's time to be quiet. It'll all be over soon.
All right. Well, what do you want to know exactly?
I want to know.
Yeah.
Well, it is a good question. Come over here. We'll move the body off the table and you can sit down.
I'm fine on the floor here. I'm good. Thank you.
Hedwig, you feel like this. There's an alarm going off on one of your watches. You have not set any alarm for right now.
And she feels it. Is the one in her breast
Yes,
pocket?
yes.
Yeah, she brings her hand to her chest to feel it. Is it just buzzing?
It's buzzing, but it's like seriously like shaking. It's almost like shaking through your shirt.
And she's like, oh, one moment. And she pops it out of her shirt to look at it.
As you look at it, you see it, and no longer are the hands of the clock like just they're spinning like super quick, like around and around, and they're going backwards. Zoo, 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 as you just kind of are mesmerized by looking at this thing.
She's staring at it, very confused as to what it means. And then she looks up to the weatherman and the Catalonian soldier. Sorry, seems late for something.
Your face like starts to light up as this light from the watch just like engulfs the room. This Catalonian's gonna try to shoot at you.
I'm gonna try and dive out of the way.
Okay, let's see what happens. He's at medium range.
It's awful.
He hits. So let's see. That's 7. 19. What is your... so that's a wound. Just one, though. To the... what? That's right. So as you're, like, spinning, he just, like, shoots, and you feel this pain in your side. And you look down, and it's exactly where that wound on the other... your other self is. But suddenly you're no longer in this place. It's very disorienting. It's very black and cold, and you hear the cries of a bird, maybe? And you kind of look up, and you're holding your side, and it's painful, and you see these white birds, doves maybe, or something to that, something like that, just fly overhead, and they're like just everywhere. You look up, there's a bright sky, blue with white clouds. You see the sun. There's no smog. There's no acid rain. It's just nothing but peaceful blue skies everywhere. And I'll let you go ahead and post your reaction as we close her out.
Yeah, Hedwig holds her chest in the wound, breathing heavily, hissing as she tries to get through the pain, momentarily distracted from it by seeing blue skies and birds flying through the air. Being from one place and now into another, she's confused. She looks up. What's on the ground around her?
You look over to your left, you look over to your right. You're in a boat. A small boat, like just barely the size of you. And on each side, to the right and to the left, there's nothing but water. You don't see land anywhere.
Father, where am I? She looks to see if there's any oars.
There is an oar in the boat, yeah.
Well, I guess, go towards the sun, maybe? She, kind of holds her chest. She takes, one of those injections that she has. She usually puts in her gun, sticks in herself. I think it's good for
Yeah, that would work. You can do out of combat. We'll figure out the mechanics of that in a second. But yeah, you dose yourself with one of those, and as you do that, you do feel some sort of relief, and that will end it for our solo session for you.
All right.
What did you think?
That was great. Panic. It's like, I don't know what to do.
What a
Doesn't want to hurt anybody. She's like, oh no, what's happening?
Got to meet your future dead self, so
Oh
congrats.
God. Oh no, I have 10 years.
Maybe.
Well, that's the thing, is it's whether or not it's multiverse. Because if it's multiverse, then it's not necessarily even the same you.
Who knows?
It could be like you from an alternate universe. So
Hedwig thinks
who maybe just wanted to right the wrong that you were about to face, right? Maybe so she went to try and stop it from happening in another universe. You never know.
Maybe.
All right, let's figure out this wound. Let's do this real quick. We'll do it on the
Nuances.
recording so we can figure out
Sure.
the everything about it. So let me go to the wounds, the quick start guide, how that works. All right, so it was a 19 was the levels of success for the wound. So what we do? Oh, okay, Adobe is being really slow. Let me pull that part up. I think it's severity of wound effects. So technically we're on page, if you're following along, we're on severity levels. So this is page 52 of the quick start guide. So this is wound level +5. So it's a moderate wound. So your wound level is 10, and this was a 19. So you're in wound level you're moderate. Okay. So I'm going to put moderate on your wound. There, rank should be moderate. I need to change that drop down. Okay. So you're moderate. What moderates do? Moderate wounds are those that have TSV, which is total success value to a character wound level +5, but no greater than +10. So when you do a wound effect, you add 1d10 to your wound effect dice. Okay. So now I need you to make a roll on the torso wound effects. So go ahead and roll. What is it? I think wound effects.
Torso wound, is it severity? Is that it?
Yeah, but I got to figure out. Hold on one second. Yeah, 3d10. So you're going to roll 4d10, and it's going to be on that wound effect or torso wound effect. So 4d10. These do not explode.
I don't know if that rolled. It only rolled 3d10, so I need to re-roll one.
Yeah.
Or something?
Yeah, re-roll. Yeah, just roll one. Roll d10, I mean. 25.
Okay.
I don't think. So 25, no effect. Yeah. So actually, it didn't hurt you that bad. So you got shot, and it was just grazed you or something.
Perfect.
So.
Can't go through any vitals. Yeah,
Right.
just like slip past all the important bits. Yep. It happens.
Yeah, 20. It's so 20. I wonder. It didn't give you an option to roll. Oh, it said +1.
It doesn't give me an option to roll.
No, it rolled it, right?
Oh, +1
it rolled
D10.
it. You got a 20.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's
okay,
a 20.
So I got -1 strength.
Yeah, so -1 strength is the so -1 strength. Yeah, I thought it did. It's under wounds and injuries. Yeah, -1 strength.
Oh my.
All right, so let's go ahead and do your so there it is. It's a rank. What was it? A rank.
It's a moderate, you said.
Yeah. Moderate, but it's serious because so there's two different types. There's the first type which determines how serious the actual attack was, and then there's one that's the effect. So this is a serious wound effect. So it's on serious. So -1 strength. Okay. Now, are you going to use your thing?
I think I gotta double check. I was gonna go back in Hourglass just to see what they do really quick because I have.
Yeah. So I can.
Aha! Here it is. So it's out of combat, so it adds 2 benefit to a recovery or healing skill check. Yeah, skill check. Oh, it's at level 1. Heal 1. Wait, out of that, so it's add 3 benefit to recovery or healing skill check.
So it would let you make a recovery check immediately. So I don't know what your recovery skill is, but
probably not great.
That's 1.
Oh,
it's trained, so that's good. Your endurance isn't. It's 2, so you'd be rolling. So 2, and then your 1. So it's rolling 3 dice plus you're rolling 6 dice and keeping 2. You can use a fate point on it to give yourself another benefit if you wanted.
I think the 3 is okay.
Well, I mean, you might as well because it's at the end of the session they come back. Yeah. So 4 benefits.
17.
That is not enough to heal it.
Damn it.
Yeah. So you stab yourself in the leg, and it just hurts too bad. It's just not closing. You're not sure, but yeah, it did not work to heal yourself. So you will start next session with a wound, and it's been treated once. So
keep 1, or is it
keep 1? No, you should keep 2. It dropped 6. I don't know why.
Oh. So it is 10-17. It just re-rolls. It doesn't add, right? That's.
Did you do untrained or trained?
I did trained. I'm pretty sure.
So okay, let's look at this. You did.
Well, do you have points of recovery?
Yes, she does.
Oh.
Here, I'm just gonna do the normal roll.
Yeah.
Just see what happens here. See if this looks correct. That looks correct. So if I do
drop 2
resilience, and you put 4 benefits in.
Yeah, it says drop 6. So shouldn't it be drop 5?
Yes. Should.
Oh. Yeah, so it still does drop 6.
It's dropping 1 extra. It looks like it's on the other one too.
So that's weird. So shouldn't it be? Should I pass then?
Do you have a thing selected that's lower than it's supposed to be?
Oh, is it because it's because my strength is lower, isn't it? Is that
no,
it?
they don't have anything to do. I haven't even lowered your strength. Do you? Oh, I know. It's because when I gave you that, it gave you a wound hardship, so it was counting the wound hardship. So now if I bet if I do it, but I still though. Well, let me make sure. That's what I think it is. But so we said 4 benefits is what we thought it was.
That makes sense.
Yeah, there we go. So you would keep in one of the 7s, so you would pass.
Hey!
Yeah.
Papa! Thank God.
Yeah. So how does that look as you stab yourself and it heals you?
She stabs herself with one of her kind of own needles that goes. She can put into her gun. It's like a small vial. It's bulbous on the end and a little kind of a pinprick on the front. She takes that out of one of the cartridges that she has in the Crankmaster and stabs it right beside the wound. She hisses. There's almost this acid that kind of bubbles up around the wound itself, kind of quickly causing like the, I guess, white blood cells or whatever to scab it over in a rapid healing. And as it does so, the scar stays. That doesn't change, but it quickly heals over and mends, and she's able to move her arm because it was kind of on the one side of her torso, move her torso and breathe a lot easier after a few moments.
Nice. Which level did you use?
It was the second one.
Okay.
So I have 2 level 1s left.
So just delete that one from your inventory.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, so you just stab yourself, and that is the end, for real. So